Alright, so after last week's little detour, let's get this entire thing back on track. Let's finish this Norse area, shall we? Oh, more than a spin. Oh, how entertaining. 5 episodes ago, I banned Thememaker's Toolkit, and this is the product of that hard work. This is Jippity Point, and so far, we've completed the entrance area down here, the teeniest, tiniest little Eurofighter that you could possibly squeeze into a space, an RMC that a park of this size definitely should not have, and a wild card that is the stand-up coaster that just appeared out of nowhere that definitely also shouldn't really sit there, but it absolutely does. And the park has not got a lot of space left, so we've got this little bit down here, and I've got the island, of course, that I need to do. So we do, however, have some unfinished business in this area. This is the spinning coaster that I said was going to be last week, wasn't there last week, and it just sat there teasing you this entire time. So you will be forgiven for thinking that you've seen this coaster before. It is the one I used in Reigate Lake, and it's the one I also use in Cadnam Castle, and it's making another appearance. It makes absolute sense for a park like this to get an off-the-shelf model, right? So that's what we're going for. But if this is your first time seeing this coaster, we come out of the station into the lift hill, and then we do a bit of a figure of 8 pass into a brake run. We then have a steep drop into this overbanked hairpin, then it's a double up, which is actually acting as making it spin into a brake run, and then it comes into this like S pass down here, and I love this because it stays so low to the ground, and it makes some pretty decent spins when you've got the right weight in the train. Oh, I don't want to ride that. Comes into a brake run, into a drop, and then it sort of like peters its way to the end of the course. It's like wasting its energy by this point. One final brake run, a helix, and a turnaround, and then into the final brake run here. This, of course, is the maintenance area, and I'm going to try and attach it where I can to this car park here, and of course the queue line and stuff all needs doing. So this needs to fit in with the Viking area that we've got from last week, so I wonder how I'm going to do that. Oh, inspiration time! Oh yeah guys, I love doing teeny tiny little areas because they just come to life so quickly. Not a lot of time went on between the beginning of the episode and this midpoint here, so that time lapse probably feels a little bit quick, right? But yes, it just comes to life and I love it. It's sitting here so unassumedly on the sightline, but my god, it looks alright already. And I have had this idea in place since probably the RMC, like with this whole idea, but I actually needed a smaller space and a ground level space to work with. I think I actually now needed a bit of a bigger space. Maybe this would have worked out better for the stand-up coaster rather than here, but hey, this is coming to life and it's exactly as I wanted it, and it's actually looking quite Norse. I didn't want to have a typical pitched roof building going on here. I actually wanted it to have a little bit of an intricacy going on, so that's why we've got the bulk of the building here, and then we've got a bit of an overhang porchy area here, and then it actually steps back, and then you've got another overhang that sticks out of the roof here, and then of course you've got this tower. Now this tower came to life because I was sitting there thinking, oh, what would happen if I just split the roof from the actual main tower bulk and had this thing in the middle? Now of course it needs tidying up, right? It's off center at the moment and it needs some decoration and stuff around here, but this is the idea that I was going for, and yes, and then because I was doing Norse, I had this idea from the western bit of having these cross beams, and they're slightly offset to each other, so they actually do properly cross. And that just ended up looking really, really Norse rather than Western, and I'm glad I saved it. I'm glad I saved it for here. So this is going to look sweet when this is done. And of course, this porch area, it's all just made up of a couple of different types of beams. So you've got the thick wood beam here, you've got the haunted house pillar, and you've also got these the smaller haunted house pillar. And I've thrown in the Western pillars as well, or the Western beams in here as well, just so you've got this bit going on. And then I've used icing on this for the wall trim. I kind of wanted to have this idea of decorating stuff. Maybe I might go back and retrofit the area with some of this stuff. It just feels like it did fit. I mean, I did originally have it in, but I couldn't get the right design. But I think I've sort of nailed it here, you know. We'll see. We shall see. Inside the station hasn't been done. Look inside here. It's an absolute mess. Gross, gross, gross. I think I'm going to need to do a solid ceiling in here, though, because there is a lot of stuff that's going to be happening here that's going to be, like, poked through and whatever. You can't hide it, unfortunately, so we probably won't have an exposed beam ceiling in this one, which, actually, this probably would be the prime one for it. But, hey, it's all right. It'll work out in here. So, yeah, that's nowhere near remotely finished. Then at the back here we've got the maintenance area. I have just concreted this over, put in a couple of dividing fences. So here is a don't die fence to separate yourself from the moving train, the other side of the fence, just in case. And then of course you've got the transfer track in here. I think I need to do a little bit more to this. I'm not entirely happy with it as it's sitting right now, but I'll get it sorted. And of course custom catwalking going on in here, and I have deliberately left the gap here which indicates roughly where the transfer track would be. So I think I actually need to move this up a little bit, but this means that this section of track here would be the one that would actually move across. So yeah, I'm sort of like deliberately pointing that out. And then of course I've tried my best to make it attached to the track. It's difficult to do when you don't have Thememaker's Toolkit. Thanks for banning that, guys. Cheers, appreciate it. So yeah, that's what we're going for. And then I'm taking cues from Dragon's Fury here, in the sense that the Dragon's Fury maintenance shed is quite literally a shed. It's a garden shed that you can go and buy from any hardware store, and it's just plonked on a concrete pillar. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. But I have put some screening fence up, so this is why I've used the really tall fencing rather than the 2-meter fencing. It's screening fencing to sort of stop the queue line and whatever from seeing the maintenance area where possible, and also the maintenance roadway that's living here, right? So that's what we're going for. So from down here you can't really see it. I don't think I want to hide the outside of the park from here. I don't think the park would make that much of an effort or care that much about it, but you definitely would want to make the effort to hide the maintenance area and stuff. So like from down here you can't see it, but you can get some really decent views of the station building and stuff here, which actually sits quite nicely on this sightline, if I'm honest. Like, it sits way better. I have also done the queue line stuff. I've put the dirt and stuff around here. This is all gonna work out quite nicely. I do just need to find a strategy for inside here. I think it's going to end up being windows as dirt. I've got a couple of techniques I might want to try and find, but ultimately what I'm going to do is put all of the brickwork and stuff into the queue line, so it's consistent. So it's consistent flooring. Then of course there's going to be foliage and stuff that's going to kick in here. You use your queue line layout, by the way, lots of those zigzags, reducing zigzags, and then you've got the haunted house fencing is being used here because it just feels like this is very Norse, right? It feels like this is typically how it would be. So yes. So that's pretty much all there is to tell you about it, right? It's a simple build. I can't drag out 8 minutes of this one, so I'm not going to. I mean, it's already been 6, so let's carry on building, shall we? See you in a minute. Oh, there you go, guys. Tucked neatly between the border of Norse and Pirate, we've got something spinny and spewy, and I love it. It is the perfect addition for the perfect spot. It just looks the part wherever you look from it, like from every angle that you can go. Even in the car park, this is the sort of view that you are getting. Oh, yes. I mean, look. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, it's turned out so much better than I thought it was going to. And given that Thememaker's Toolkit is still banned and it doesn't contain any items, I think I've done all right, you know. Like, I've got my sanity back. We're all good. Mind you, I never had sanity to start with, but I got whatever sanity I did have. It is back. And this building, oh my god, it turned out so well. Like, yes, I am so chuffed with it. Like, it's not my usual building style, and I think I've managed to pull this off. Even these beam bracings, absolute genius. Love it. Like, what a stroke of luck that was, just finding those. And I'm a little bit gutted that I've lost all of this inside beaming. I did have, like, the idea of having an exposed beam on the inside, and then I realised that I couldn't, and then I threw a tantrum about that, and then I got over that and sat in a corner and cried myself to sleep. But it's all good, right? So yes, and this tower, oh, I'm so glad I did this. It was such a build, right? But then I got to the point where this bit felt empty and it needed something, and I was like, let's just put something that would blow away in the wind. Let's put something that would be in the UK a health and safety nightmare, and that's what I've done. There you go. Thank you, my friends. But this bit just turned out so well. Like, once I tidied it up and put everything in its place, and I put a couple of trims and stuff in here, put all this in its rightful place, it just came to life. And I found this, by the way. There's a facade wall that's tiles. Oh my god, it is the most amazing floor. You'll see this in a minute later on. And in fact, those facades are awesome at flooring, and I did not even know they existed. And when I knew they existed, I just always wrote them off. I mean, look inside here. This brickwork, it's that facading. Like, yes, it just exists, right? Use it, guys. Seriously use it. This trim along the outside here with the icing has worked out a treat. I did toy with doing more, right? I had all these elaborate things that I was going to put in, and it just didn't work. I ended up deleting them, and I'm glad I did. Less is more sometimes. But what I did do is I actually copied them across to here. I did this quite early, actually, so in reality, I actually copied that building from what you're seeing now. But hey, it's our little secret. Keep that between us. So yeah, yes. Inside the station then, as we've just been inside here, I am wanting to start to accent the pirate stuff. So yes, we are still in Norse, and pirate ships are a big part of Norse mythology, believe it or not. You know, it's kind of like, that's how it kind of goes. But I am wanting to start to transition the area into a more piratey type theme. So the whole Viking thing is hopefully starting to come in here, but still keeping it simple. Don't want to go OTT, so that's why we've got in here the exposed beam roof, the exposed beam pallet roof, whatever you want to call it, these beams along the side and everything. It's very typical with your pirate. And then on the outside, done a little bit of touching up that was needed, added in a few of the missing beams. I've done a little bit of a different thing with the windows. I wanted to try some different styles and stuff, so that's what we've gone for here. But again, I'm keeping the exterior simple, but still Nordic. And these two here, oh my god, these two turned out so much better than I thought they were going to. I was putting them in and I was like, yeah, this is just going to get lost in this whole roof situation, because that's what happens. But no, it turned out nicely. And the western stuff here just gives it a really nice touch. And then the beams and stuff, yes. And I love how this track gets so close to the path here. This was an accident as well, and this coaster just interacts with everything so nicely. Like here, where you've got the queue that goes underneath it, and you've got the S-bend bit of track, and then over here where you've got the hairpin. Oh yes. Couple of custom supports in here, by the way. They're not the greatest of custom supports, but you know that that's the case. So this one here is a custom support, and I just had to put a couple in here because there was just not enough supportage going on. Otherwise, I'm using the in-game supports for everywhere else, right? It just it just works. So the queue line then, I always love putting the path covers down in the queue lines because it makes the queue lines just make sense, because it covers all of your misdemeanors, right? So this just makes absolute sense now that it's just one pad of bricks, and that's exactly what they would do IRL in real life. Probably don't need to say IRL in real life, do I? And then this bit here is exactly the same. It just brings it to life. It's just a pad of bricks. And then outside here, it becomes a plaza. It's no longer just lots of paths underneath it and whatever. It just becomes this plaza. And then I have started to put the pirate stuff in, as I said. So I've just sunk a ship into the ground. I don't want to do the full ship. I'd probably do that in the pirate area, right? Because that's my trademark. I just wanted to have the accent of the Nordic stuff and ships and whatever in here. So that's what I've done there. And it just breaks up the plaza a little bit. This otherwise was a little bit too big, and I did kind of want this pathway to come down this way into the entrance or down this way to carry on, and I wanted there to be a bit of a separator there. Didn't want to reuse the planters and the brickwork that I've got on the ground because it's sort of like a bit spammy at the moment. So that's what I've done there. Just put the boat in, and it sits. Yes, this bit all makes sense now. So before it was obviously all blocked off and we didn't really have much going for it. But now you've got the two coasters running side by side. Yes, this pathway. Oh, yeah, guys, honestly, like, yes. And then we come to the slight surprise edition. This was supposed to be a really simple building. This is supposed to be no more than this. It's supposed to be a bit of a boathouse. It doesn't need its grand stuff that you've got over here, but it is still very Nordic, but it's also very pirate at the same time, remembering that we are in the transition between Nordic and what will be the pirate area back here. So yeah, it's a photo unit. It's going to be a photo unit a little bit like Rita's at Alton Towers, where nobody in the world is going to go up there to have a look at the photos. It's going to be the most unprofitable shop that they've got, and we're going to love it for it. But inside, we're selling kids fireworks still, because that's what we do. But this is just really simple in here, really plain. Done. It's good. And on the outside then, like I say, I've just started to put the pirate stuff. Whether I come back and put more pirate stuff on here, I need to sort of flesh out what this area is going to do, right? To know whether I need to start putting more of that pirate accent stuff in. You know, do I put pirate flags and whatever? I don't know yet. This bit here is just a temporary thing. Like I say, I need to sort of find out what's going to go where and how the path situation is going to go. So just for now, just to complete the area, I've just put a row of picnic benches along here with a bit of the dirt and whatever, just to finish it all off, and it makes it all make sense. And then here's the maintenance area. This is the bit that we've got. I've started to throw down again that pirate stuff, so the idea of anchors and barrels and stuff around here, and then just the clutter in the backstage bit. I did put one more fence panel in here actually. It felt like you would have a little bit more privacy wanting to be going on in here, so I just put the extra fence, and then here's all of the clutter. And then I have just put the barn door on this one because it needs to be a bigger door. But this is literally at Chessington, all it is, it's a garden shed. I kid you not, it's a garden shed, or at least it was last time I went. I don't know if they've done some work on it over the last couple of years, but when I last went it was a garden shed, and that's, yeah. And now it also connects to the car park. I'm toying with the idea, by the way, of the car park being redone. This was kind of functional for when I had the original GPT Point file, and I think it probably now needs to be a little bit bigger because the park is probably a bit. The park would definitely have outgrown this car park by now. But guys, this is how it is sitting at the top one more time, and that's how it's sitting from the side. Yes. Let's spoil then next week. It's not another coaster, I'm afraid. Soz everybody, but it's a log flume. There you go. So you are absolutely getting a log flume next week. Guys, thank you so much for getting to the end of the episode. You always know I say it every single week on ad nauseum. I appreciate you getting this far. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. 25,000 subs and we will go back through the park and do a TMTK pass. I'm toying with the idea of doing a TMTK only build. It won't be an entire park. That's just suicide, sacrilege. It's not going to happen. But what do you reckon? TMTK only build? I reckon it's doable. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good week. See you next week. Bye!